Hello, and welcome to Module 6 of your AI training journey. In this module, we're going to zoom out, way out, and look at artificial intelligence not as a technology story, but as a historical one. By the end of this lesson, you will understand why the AI revolution is unlike anything humanity has experienced before, and what that means for you, your career, and your organization. Let's get started. Before we dive in, here is what you are going to learn in this module. First, you will understand what makes the AI revolution fundamentally different from every previous revolution in human history. Second, we will trace the pattern of major disruptions, from the printing press to the internet, and see what they all have in common. Third, you will learn what history tells us about who wins and who loses when revolutionary technology arrives. Fourth, we will look at the psychology of change, why smart people resist, and why that resistance is so costly. And fifth, you will leave with a clear mental model for deciding which story you want to be in. Let's begin with what makes this particular moment different from every revolution that came before it. Every major revolution in human history has had one thing in common. It automated muscle. The steam engine replaced physical labor. Electricity powered factories. Machines replaced manual crafts. But through all of it, humans still did all the thinking. What is happening right now is categorically different. Artificial intelligence is not automating muscle, it is automating the mind. AI can now read X-rays as well as, or better than, radiologists. It drafts legal contracts and marketing copy. It writes and debugs software code. It designs products and generates images. For the first time in history, a machine is not just doing what a human tells it to do. It is doing what a human used to think only humans could do. That is the fundamental shift. And once you see it clearly, everything else in this module will make sense. To make this concrete, let's look at what AI can actually do today across 6 major professional domains. In medicine, AI is detecting cancers from scans, predicting patient deterioration, and assisting in drug discovery. In legal services, AI drafts contracts, reviews case law, and flags compliance risks in seconds. In marketing, AI writes ad copy, segments audiences, and generates personalized content at scale. In engineering, AI designs components, runs simulations, and finds structural weaknesses faster than human teams. In software development, AI writes, tests, and reviews code, entire features in minutes. And in finance, AI models risk, detects fraud, and produces financial analyses automatically. This is not the future. This is happening right now in organizations around the world. Here is one number that tells you everything about how fast this is moving. ChatGPT reached 100 million users in just 2 months after launch. To put that in perspective, Netflix took 3.5 years to reach the same milestone. Instagram took 2.5 years. This is not a gradual adoption curve. This is adoption at a speed we have never seen before in history. And the technology itself, not just its adoption, is also accelerating. Models that were cutting edge 18 months ago are now considered outdated. The pace of change is not slowing down. If anything, we are still in the early stages of the acceleration. Now let us look back at the patterns of every revolution that came before AI, because history has a message for us. Here are 4 of the most significant technological revolutions in the last 600 years, and when you look at them together, a clear pattern emerges. In 1440, the printing press arrived. It made knowledge cheap and shareable. It sparked the Renaissance, and it ended the profession of the scribe. In 1760, the Industrial Revolution transformed society. Machines replaced manual crafts, factories replaced cottage industries, and a way of life that had existed for centuries disappeared within a generation. In 1879, electricity changed everything. It powered industry around the clock. It created the modern economy, and it made gaslighting, ice delivery, and candle making largely obsolete. In the 1990s, the internet connected billions of people. It created digital giants like Google and Amazon, and it destroyed print media, retail bookstores, and the travel agency industry. And now, right now, AI is next on that timeline. Every revolution created new winners. Every revolution destroyed those who didn't adapt. The question is always the same. Which side of that divide will you be on? There is one historical story that almost perfectly mirrors what we are seeing today around AI, and it's the story of the Luddites. In early 19th century England, a group of skilled textile workers called the Luddites became famous for smashing the new industrial looms that were replacing their jobs. They were not stupid people. They were experienced, skilled craftsmen, genuinely afraid of losing their livelihoods. And here's what history records. The Industrial Revolution did not stop. The looms were not removed, but a new generation of workers, those who learned to operate, maintain, and eventually improve those machines, became the new professionals of the industrial age. The lesson is not that the Luddites were wrong to be concerned. The lesson is that the technology was not going to pause for their comfort, and neither is AI. Lesson 1. Technology revolutions always win. Lesson 2. The people who understand the technology have always been the ones who survived and thrived. Lesson 3. The time to prepare is before the wave hits, not after. With that historical context in mind, let us now look at how AI is playing out in business. Who is winning and who is already losing? The verdict on who wins and who loses during technology revolutions is not a prediction. It is already history. Look at what happened with the digital revolution, which arrived just a few decades ago. Netflix embraced streaming. Blockbuster clung to physical rental. Blockbuster is gone. Amazon built digital commerce. Borders Books ignored online shopping. Borders is gone. Tesla led the electric vehicle revolution. Legacy automakers dismissed it as a niche. They are now scrambling to catch up, and many have not. OpenAI and NVIDIA bet on artificial intelligence early. The companies that called it a fad or a threat are now trying to buy their way into a game they ignored. The pattern is consistent. Adopt early, and you define the new industry. Resist or delay, and you spend the rest of your time reacting to decisions others made. The same pattern is now unfolding with AI. And the window for early adoption, the window where you still have time to be on the winning side, is open right now. I want to pause and share a thought that captures this perfectly. It is not the biggest or most powerful organizations that will thrive in the AI era. It is the fastest and most adaptable ones. Size no longer guarantees survival. Speed and willingness to change do. Keep that in mind as we move into the next section. In Part 4, we will look at the psychological journey that organizations and individuals go through when disruptive technology arrives. Every major technological revolution follows a predictable emotional cycle. Understanding this cycle is one of the most powerful things you can do right now. It starts with fear. When disruptive technology arrives, the first response from most people is anxiety and resistance. This will take our jobs. It's not reliable. It's just hype. This is the Luddite response, and it is completely human. Then comes skepticism. As the technology matures, people start watching from the sidelines. They see others using it, but they tell themselves, "I'll wait until it's proven. It won't affect my field." This is the Blockbuster moment. Then adoption begins. A critical mass of early adopters start integrating the technology. Productivity leaps become undeniable. The skeptics start to feel pressure to act. And finally, transformation. The technology is now embedded in how entire industries operate. This is when the market has been permanently restructured, and those who adopted early are in control. Here is the important question. Where is AI on this cycle right now? AI is right at the transition point between skepticism and adoption. That means the window is not closed, but it is closing. Here is something crucial to understand about the pace of AI development. It is exponential. And exponential growth is deeply deceptive. In the early stages of exponential growth, where we are right now, progress feels slow and incremental. You hear about AI, you try a few tools. They're impressive but imperfect. You think, we have time. But exponential curves don't stay flat. After a long, gradual ramp-up, they tip into near vertical growth. When that happens, the change feels sudden and overwhelming to everyone who wasn't already prepared. Think of it like a chessboard with rice grains. The first squares seem trivial, but by the final squares, the total rice exceeds all the world's production combined. We are still in the early squares of AI. The next 3 to 5 years will feel dramatically different from the last 3. And organizations that feel comfortable today may feel blindsided tomorrow. The time to prepare is not when the curve goes vertical. The time to prepare is now, while you can still do it thoughtfully and strategically. We've looked at history, we've looked at the patterns, and we've looked at where we are right now. Now let's make it personal. I want to tell you 2 stories. They both involve photography. One is a tragedy, one is a triumph, and together they tell you everything about the choice in front of you. The first story is Kodak. For most of the 20th century, Kodak dominated global photography. At its peak, it held 85% of camera sales and 90% of film sales in the United States. It was one of the most recognizable brands on Earth. And here is the part most people don't know. Kodak invented digital photography. In 1975, a Kodak engineer named Steve Sasson built the first digital camera. But Kodak's leadership decided to suppress it, fearing it would cannibalize their film business. By 2012, Kodak filed for bankruptcy. The technology they invented and chose to ignore became the industry they lost. Now the second story, Google. When smartphones made digital photography ubiquitous, Google didn't resist. They built Google Photos, an AI-powered service that automatically organizes, enhances, and searches your photos. They leaned into the technology, and today, Google Photos has over 1 billion users. Same industry, same technological shift, 2 completely different choices about how to respond. Which story is your organization telling right now? I'll leave you with this thought before we close. History does not pause for comfort. It does not wait for consensus. It does not slow down so that organizations can finish their 5-year strategic plans. The AI revolution is already happening. The only choice is whether you're going to be shaped by it or help shape it. Before we close, let's lock in the 4 key takeaways from this module. Number 1. AI is different from every previous revolution. All past revolutions automated physical tasks. AI automates cognition, thinking, judgment, and creativity. There is no historical precedent for this, and the scale and speed of disruption will exceed anything we have seen before. Number 2. History always rewards adopters and punishes resistors. Blockbuster, Kodak, Borders, legacy automakers, the pattern is consistent. Early adoption of transformative technology creates winners. Delay or denial creates victims. The AI revolution will be no different. Number 3. The window to adapt is open, but not forever. We are currently in the deceptive early phase of an exponential curve. The growth feels manageable now. Within 3 to 5 years, it will feel sudden and overwhelming to those who are not already prepared. And number 4, you get to choose which story you are in. The Kodak story or the Netflix story. The Blockbuster story or the Amazon story. This module is not a prediction about what will happen to others. It is a choice about what happens to you. Congratulations for completing this module. In the next module, we will look at how AI is impacting your business models around every industry and creating the new ones.